Welcome back to Wikilert.
Today, we're diving into a story that stirred hearts across Pakistan and beyond. A moment that blends faith, resilience, and the fragility of life on the road. Just this morning, September 17, 2025, news broke of a car accident involving Ajmal Raza Qadri, the revered Islamic scholar and poet whose soulful knots and teachings have touched millions. The incident, which happened during his travels in Punjab, left the community holding its breath, but the latest updates bring a sigh of relief. Ajmal sustained minor injuries and, by the grace of Allah, is now safe and recovering. It's a story that reminds us how quickly life can shift, especially for someone who's dedicated his days to guiding others closer to faith. Let's walk through the details of this accident, explore the life of this remarkable figure, and reflect on the legacy he continues to build. One verse and one sermon at a time. The accident unfolded in the early hours of September 17th as Ajmal's vehicle was traveling through Punjab, a region where he's often on the move, delivering sermons or attending spiritual gatherings. According to a statement from his official team on X, shared by @PMARQ official at 15:06 IST, a sudden collision occurred. Details remain sparse, but it's believed another vehicle may have veered into his path, causing a jarring impact. The scene was chaos, metal crumpled, airbags deployed, and for a moment, those nearby feared the worst. Ajmal sustained some bruises and minor cuts, enough to warrant a swift trip to a local hospital. But as his team shared with palpable gratitude, alhamdulillah, there is no danger now. He was discharged after treatment, though the road ahead means rest and recovery, with upcoming programs canceled to give him time to heal. It's the kind of moment that could shake anyone, but for a man whose life revolves around trust in divine will, it feels like another chapter in a journey of unwavering faith. Ajmal Raza Qadri's story begins in the serene town of Sultanpura, Ghakkar, in Gujranwala, Pakistan, where he was born into a family steeped in Islamic devotion. From a young age, he was different, bright, curious, with a heart that seemed to beat for spiritual knowledge. His childhood wasn't filled with the usual distractions. Instead, he'd pore over religious texts, memorize Quranic verses, and soak up the wisdom of local scholars. It was like he was born to carry a torch, one that would light the way for others. He became a murid, or disciple, of the esteemed Grand Mufti of India, Mufti Akhtar Raza Khan Qadri Barelvi, known as Azari Mayan, whose teachings shaped Ajmal's path in the Barelvi tradition. Imagine a young Ajmal, sitting cross-legged at his teacher's feet, absorbing lessons on love for the Prophet and the poetry of faith, his eyes wide with purpose. That foundation led him to become a Khatib at Jama Masjid Rahmaniya Rizvia in Gujranwala, where his sermons blend scholarly depth with a warmth that feels like a conversation with a friend. What makes Ajmal so beloved, though, isn't just his knowledge, it's his poetry. Those soul-stirring knots that have become anthems for millions. Drawing from the legacy of Imam Ahmed Raza Khan Qadri, he weaves verses that feel like prayers set to melody, shared widely on platforms like YouTube, where clips of his recitations rack up millions of views. Picture a packed mosque, the air thick with devotion, as his voice rises, singing praises of the Prophet with a sincerity that brings tears to even the hardest hearts. He's also a writer, penning Hayat Isadul Ulama for Mumbai's Raza Academy, a book that keeps alive the wisdom of past scholars, ensuring their light doesn't fade. It's not about fame for him, it's about service, about using words to draw people closer to Allah. Whether he's addressing thousands at a milad or a small gathering in a village, his presence is magnetic, humble, yet commanding, like a guide who knows the path because he's walked it himself. Family is the quiet strength behind Ajmal's public life, though he keeps those details close, as is his way. Raised in a household where faith was the foundation, he carries that legacy forward, often speaking of his parents' influence in shaping his love for learning. He's a private man off stage, but those who know him describe a warmth that spills over whether he's sharing tea with community elders or mentoring young students in Gujranwala. Financially, his life reflects the modesty of a scholar. His net worth isn't measured in millions, but in impact. Any earnings from his speaking engagements, book royalties, or donations likely go back into his community, mosque repairs, charity for the poor, or supporting Islamic education. It's a life of purpose over profit, the kind where a simple robe and a heartfelt verse outweigh any material gain. His home in Gujranwala, near the mosque he serves, is less a mansion and more a hub for seekers, a place where the doors always open for those needing guidance. There are moments in Ajmal's life that linger like lines from his poetry, stories that show the man behind the title. Friends recall how, during a long journey to a rural mehfil, he stopped to help a stranded family fix their car, delaying his arrival but never his smile, insisting it was part of the path. Or the time he spent hours consoling a young man who'd lost his way, using verses from his knots to remind him of hope, turning despair into a moment of renewal. Even today's accident paints a picture. Despite the shock, his team's first instinct was to reassure followers, to share gratitude for his safety, reflecting the calm he's always preached. On X, fans flooded posts with duas, one user writing, "Ya Allah, protect our Pir Sahib, whose words guide us to you." It's a testament to the love he's earned, not through fame, but through sincerity. This accident, though minor in its physical toll, is a stark reminder of life's unpredictability, even for those who seem untouchable in their purpose. It's shaken his followers, who've seen him navigate Pakistan's roads countless times to spread his message. As he rests now under doctor's orders, the cancelled programs feel like a small price for his safety, but they underscore how much his presence means to so many. To his family, his students, and the millions who find solace in his voice, we send our prayers for a swift recovery, for more days filled with his poetry and peace. If Ajmal's story of faith, resilience, and this close call has touched you, or if you're moved by lives that shine through service, please give this video a like and subscribe for more stories that remind us what matters most. It keeps these voices alive. Thanks for being here. May peace be with you all.